Hello, 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 hello. Test. Is this working? I am learning how to use the live streaming today. Maybe 10 years late because I was just using the regular phone and now I'm learning to use the encoder app. And the app I'm using right now is called OBS Studio. And it seems a pretty good tool because I love what I see. I'm going to try to zoom this a bit. I think the quality is fantastic. 10 years later, I wish I knew this 10 years before. Here, YouTube is not receiving no video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience. Oh, I see. Oh, well, that we go to the um, internet, Argentinian internet. Argentinian internet. It's been 5 years of Argentina, 6 years of Argentina. It's 6 years struggling with it. 6 full years. There's always issues with the internet. In restaurants, in bars, over the phone, there's always an issue. It works, then it does not work, then it works, then it stops, then it works again. So I'll do it the same way. I go with the flow. If that's what Argentina wants, that's what I will deliver. I am in Argentina, and I'm going to work with the structure Argentinian society gives me. So, so what was the topic of this video? I have several questions and I'm trying to answer them. Some are important because they are related to my disputes. I do not even know if I'm able to use the term lawsuits anymore because since the Epstein files, which I'm digesting for 3 months now, and I'm still adjusting to that because I do not know really what, because that changes a lot of things in my perspectives. Well, a lot of things. Number one is that makes me believe that I'm definitely part of the establishment, and I have always been. It's not recent. It's not from now. It's not that I won a lottery ticket today. I wish, but I didn't. Okay, I won a good one in 1999 in Texas. The first time I was in America, I won a $100 bill. It was a very interesting way of being welcome in the United States. And back then, I remember that I stopped by. I'm sorry to say this thing, but I stopped by a fortune teller, 1999 Texas, and they said, "Oh, you're going to be a millionaire, and you're going to work with computers in California, and you're going to be a millionaire." In the 90s, a millionaire is equivalent to what's a billionaire nowadays. And then when it comes to my lifestyle, all the things I do for so many years, I can tell that yes, I am on that niche, and it's for a long time because I do have friends and clients that, and even people on the streets that they push me hard about my success, about my liquidity, my liquid cash in my pockets. They expect me to pay for everything, they expect me to finance for everything. Like I have clients, I have suppliers, so I have that tension in me, on my shoulders, and it's been a long time. And then I have also some negative, some suspicious, some like because I'm a nice guy, I'm a good person. But then they find it fake because they kind of associate me with the upper class that has funds. Like I liquidity, let's say, and I started my company in 2008, same year as Priscilla Zuckerberg husband started their company, 2008. And I'm more of the content, they're more of the communications infrastructure. And then I went with an attorney to their office in Dublin in 2019. And it's suspicious because I'm a businessman, I'm a doer, I know business, I understand profit, I understand the law. And then I have this big question mark, like, why Priscilla Zuckerberg, why she didn't accept the offer? Because they're not, because I went with a good faith. I was saying, look, that's legitimate because I understand business. I'm also a billionaire, okay? And then, you go to the facts, because I always had this question mark, but like, Why do I struggle so much? Why is it so? What is wrong? There are a lot of gaps in my story, and I had the market in general asks like they have question marks about me. Like even on that interview on the Gringos in Buenos Aires show about 8 months ago, they like you're a Pandora box. They say like, and they ask me, you're a self-made millionaire, and like and I'm like, and then I answer that and I say, well, yes, I am. I cannot say I'm not. But well, where is your money? Where is your currency? Well, it's all in disputes and lawsuits and this and that and this and whatever. Then I have like a full book of a lot of crazy stories. And then we have the Epstein files that they crashed over the internet about 3 months ago. Seriously, my impression when I saw that, especially because those incidents they occur in a moment in my life that I was really present in America, which is 1999 to 2016. I was living in the United States. I have a H-1B visa, like the permit to work in the United States. In 1999, I was invited to work in the United States legally. And all my life it's all legal. It's all black and white. There's no gaps. There's nothing hidden. It's all black and white. It's all legal, official, legal, certified, the whole thing. But there was this gap, this crazy stuff, this question marks. And then, okay, when I really process and digest all the Epstein file cases, and I have a biological brother of the same dad and same mom, okay, that I know for 49 years, okay, my older brother, he default a payment of an invoice to my company. It was about $65,000 agreements. There are a lot of substantial elements about why he should have processed that payment. But instead of processing the payment, he took a plane with his wife and uh, using a B1, B2 visa that was issued to him, sponsored by my own company, okay, in 2012. And then he goes to America, and then he stays at the Faena Hotel, which is Epstein arm in Argentina. He owns a hotel. He takes a selfie with the owner of the hotel in Miami at the Faena and his wife, and he does not pay not even one penny to my company. Actually, he starts to humiliate me. I was humiliated. He was humiliating me. Like because I was talking over the phone, like you have to pay, and I even helped. He does not speak English, so I was helping him about traveling stuff, advice in America, and then he had the necessity of humiliating me about expressing power, like humiliating me, like saying nasty things to me, such as you are a loser, you don't have money, you are a failure, you need to go to work, you don't work, and I have to listen to all that. Yes, and and no payment process. And then after a few months, maybe he would say send $100 instead of 65,000. He would send $100, and then it was something very strange because then I put a border there, and I asked some other people to do the intermediation because it was being very intense to me to going through all the humiliation to get $100, and instead of 65 that he should have paid with no complaints like back in June 8 months ago. And then one of the intermediaries who are helping, he said, no, he says he needs to talk to you. Like, you need to unblock him on WhatsApp because he was blocked that he had to humiliate me. His thing was about humiliating me. So if I grab that phone, I would be for one more time listening for maybe half an hour or up to 40 minutes of someone humiliating me, repeating that I'm a loser, an imposter, that what, I'm poor, that he said that, you're poor, you're like, and this man is in Miami spending money that he defaulted payment to me, buying luxury items. His wife does have like this dog face that the cannibals do, and these people that are doing injections with cells from newborns that they murdered and sacrificed, and then he takes a selfie with a funny owner, and then I connected dots, like, that makes sense. So I am part of this upper class, but on the clean side, and that's what I tell people in general when people do those labels. Wealthy people are bad, poor people are good, black people are ugly, white people are beautiful, Americans are rich, Brazilians are poor, or whatever. So I said, no, it's not like that. These are aspects, and I work with sales. You need to put it all together, all the aspects of people, and then you come out with a conclusion about that people. So some things they add an element, but then you need to put all of them together. Then you have an analysis, substantial. It costs time. You need really to spend maybe, like as I am doing right now, maybe 15 minutes talking about something, but then you come out with knowledge about something instead of simply labeling people. Like, all the billionaires on the planet are Jeffrey Epstein's wackos, okay? Well, if I am on that niche, okay, I would say yes and no, because I am on the same niche, but me as a victim. So what does that mean? I have no liquidity. I have all the rights. I have all the paperwork. I have all the invoices. I have several invoices that are past due. So if you check my channel, I have lots of them. I have some that are waiting for justice for 10 years, 10 years. And it's fantastic amount of paperwork. And then I have this question marks about why they don't pay, like, why? What's the issue there? And now, okay, unfortunately, maybe fortunate because it's better an ugly truth than being for maybe 20 years more working with appearances, but there were elements of perverts. So that makes sense because I have heard those conspiracy theories for so long, and people look at me so suspicious because they associate me with those people, and then I'm like, but I'm a businessman. Like, I talk to everyone, but I don't do crazy stuff. It's my nature. I have a gut feeling. I keep safety distance. Okay, usually, and I do that naturally. Like, when I smell things that I don't get much the logic, I just stay away. It's usually how I have existed all my life. So, but now with the Epstein files disclosure, I'm like, okay, so I was definitely dealing with perverts. Okay, so that's what I like to express because now I need to revise 20 years of my life because it's like it's been a long time, and I have, for example, my case about why I started a company in Miami, not in a different state, not in a different city in America. There was no logic. I never really understood why that was the only option I had. Why? Because there is an element there from on the Brazilian side, but then on the American side. But to wrap it up, into our case, Epstein files. Okay, so that justifies a bit all the madness that I have been through for 20 years now. Because before moving to the United States, before establishing a business in the United States, I still had more control of my life. I was in this European and South America. I had more control of my life. But the reason that I started a business in America was because the Brazilian government had a, a new operation in Miami. It was sponsored by the Brazilian government and by the Ministry of Economy and Development of Brazil. So it's called Apex, Agência de Promoção e Exportação do Brasil, Brazilian Exports and Promotion Agency, and that it's part of the government of Brazil, the national government of Brazil. It's a ministry, and that's also justifies why I'm filing paperwork now at the Brazilian embassy in Washington D.C. because I believe the Brazilian government is responsible for everything that happened to me because it's been 20 years that I have been influenced by this idea of President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, who is a left-wing guy who is anti-American and pro-Iran. Like, it only gets worse. The more I talk about it, it only gets worse. But I was maybe 28 years old because we're talking to 2005, and starting my career was doing very well, frequent in America with lots of clients, and then Lula says, "Oh, we have this structure to promote the exports of Brazilian products into the United States." I was one of the number one target professionals to be involved in that, and then I rerouted my entire life to that, and I ended up in Miami. My business is still in Miami, but it has been 20 years of a roller coaster of a lot of crazy stuff, especially on the Brazilian side when it comes to counterintelligence. Because the issue with the Apex in Miami is that I have developed a lot of new businesses in different industries: furniture, food commodities, clothes, and the process was repeated. Once I developed it all with my own funds, at some point when the things were almost ready, the Brazilian side in Brazil, they would copy everything, they would cut me off, they would bypass me, they go straight to my suppliers, straight to my clients, and they simply would cut me off. So they would just use me. And that has happened for 20 years, the same pattern, okay? And the last one is the case L106125, which I was shocked because I put a lot of effort on that because it was sustainability. And the process was repeated exactly the same. I was really shocked because it was sustainability, Amazon rainforest, ecology, carbon credit, like sustainability, okay, rainforest, and the process was absolutely the same. At the time, when things were ready and like on operational level, like collecting payments, processing shipments, at that time, boom, on the Brazilian side, there in Brazil, they cut me off, they bypassed me, they tried to steal all my contacts, they contact everybody direct, I was eliminated from the process. So I understand now the President Lula, who's anti-America, created this problem in Miami on purpose. The part that I had gaps was the American side because I was like, okay, I get the whole thing about Brazil, but what's going on in the USA side? Like, because I gave some validity, some legitimacy to that operation in Miami, the Apex from the Brazilian government, because it was in the USA, because it was in America. So I was trusting the United States. Okay, so it's backed by the United States. That must be solid. I mean, Americans are not stupid. So, but now it's like, okay, but there's a lot of perverts. Okay, so that's something different. Okay, I don't believe Americans are stupid. People say Americans are stupid, but they are not. Okay, usually Christians are taken as the stupid. It's not Americans. There's a lot of Christian people in America because that happens. It's a way people criticize Christians people. They call Christians stupid, and there's a lot of Americans who are Christian, happens to be Christian. Okay, But perversions and perverts, I unfortunately I would agree because I was not shocked. I was shocked about the contents of the Epstein files, but not about the shocking part was that I found it logic that I was dealing with perverts. That's what's shocking. That's, oh, now it makes sense. Oh yeah, they were perverts for real. That's the scariest part. Not the fact that they're perverts. The fact that we take it naturally. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah, Helen, that TV presenter there, she was doing cannibalism and eating newborns and babies, and I kind of understand that, like the mafia. It's a mafia they created. It's like something like, but it is pervert, completely pervert, and something that I do not have because I am a natural person. Like I believe these perversions same way as these people that they go shooting people in public out of the blue. They have to do with having a very exaggerated and extremist artificial life, like being closed in a computer, in a car, in an air conditioning, and because that happens in America. It happens in America. Like you can spend maybe a full year in total isolation, and it's not only now. This has been for a long time. Okay, I don't know. Back in 2015, that would be possible. That you order online, or maybe you go to an ATM. You do not, maybe spend if you have an income, a regular income, you do not even need to say hello to anyone. You'll be all blocked in your own world, talking to computers, video games, and driving, and totally alienated from natural life. And then that's what I believe. It's a fertile territory for perversions, and then it comes with the exaggeration. And it's an exaggeration. That's a perversion in my perspective. Some things that, oh, I have a taste, I don't know, of licking this. I just came out with this out of the blue. Okay, but something else is like you create like a temple for eyeglasses, and then you have a temple of eyeglasses and all eyeglasses, and you have an entire room loaded with eyeglasses, and then I'm eating eyeglasses, and then understand that's perversion. That's like excess is very crazy, and I believe the lifestyle what lots of people have in America